On the Lanyang Plain shines a brilliant and dazzling pearl, Suao Port, located in Suao Township, Yilan County, Taiwan. It is a natural and excellent harbor surrounded on three sides by Beifangao, Suao, and Nanfangao. With a water area of 278.55 hectares, a land area of 127.08 hectares, and 13 wharfs, Suao Port was listed as one of Taiwan's 10 major construction projects in 1973. It stands as an engineering marvel achieved through the wisdom and sweat of those who built it, involving the moving of mountains and filling of seas. Moreover, it has spurred the economic prosperity of the Lanyang region. The Suao Port project aims to alleviate congestion at Yilan Port and promote economic development in the Yilan area. This project is undertaken by the RSEA Engineering Agency. Originally a natural harbor surrounded by mountains on three sides, the bay's extensive waters are disrupted by a wide opening to the Pacific Ocean, over 2 kilometers long. Even slight winds and waves from the open ocean can disturb the tranquility of the entire bay. The Suao Port project is divided into 2 phases. The first phase began in July 1974 and was completed in December 1978. The construction included 2 inner and outer breakwaters, totaling 1,385 meters in length, 2 wave breakers, totaling 990 meters, and 3 breakwaters for the fishing harbor, totaling 178 meters. Additionally, there were deep and shallow water wharfs totaling 3,967 meters, and 5.42 million cubic meters of wharf filling. Other facilities included harbor area roads, highway tunnels, road bridges, administrative buildings, and transit sheds. All RSEA employees feel honored and proud that the government entrusted such a monumental national project to the RSEA. They are determined to contribute their utmost efforts to its completion. The expansion of the outer breakwater is the main project of Suao Port, and its construction is extremely challenging. Excavating mountains, moving earth, constructing access roads, and building elevated construction bridges are all just preparatory work before construction begins. The foundations of the breakwater are all made of rubble mound structures, with tens of thousands of stones ranging from half a ton to 5 tons in weight, all carefully selected for their hardness and compliance with port construction standards. Utilizing floating docks to manufacture giant caissons is an innovative solution by Suao Port to address the lack of construction space, representing a bold attempt domestically. Each floating dock has a load capacity of 5,000 tons and can simultaneously produce 2 giant caissons. With a total of 75 giant caissons needed, employing traditional construction methods would require 8 months to complete each caisson. Therefore, project engineers decided to use slip forming, allowing them to complete 1 caisson in just 2 months. The advantage of using slip forming is that it allows for the reinforcement of steel bars and the lifting of the formwork to be carried out simultaneously with the pouring of concrete. This enables the construction progress of the caissons to increase by over 2 meters every day. Initially, the formwork was lifted manually, but soon after research and improvements, a central control system hydraulic operation was adopted entirely. This significantly advanced the progress of caisson construction. By the time the caisson reached a height of 6 meters inside the dock, the load capacity of the floating dock had already been saturated. After curing, the caisson could then be launched into the water. During the launching process, the floating dock is gradually lowered. Only when the caisson floats up can they be individually towed out, pushed to the edge of the pier, secured with cables, and then further raised until reaching the designed height. Due to the particularly rough waves at Suao Port, the caissons required are also exceptionally large. Each caisson measures 25 meters in length and width, with heights ranging from 15 to 23 meters. Their empty weights vary between approximately 4,000 to 6,000 tons. Once the caissons are raised to the designated height and have undergone curing, the slip forms can be removed. Because the construction of caissons is influenced by weather conditions, they must be completed in advance and stored in sufficient quantities to facilitate launching. The preliminary work for the placement of the caissons involves seabed leveling because the caissons must be placed on a flat foundation to ensure stability. However, the seabed is typically uneven, and any protruding rocks must be blasted away. The foundation of the caissons is crucial. If the seabed is too high, it needs to be blasted away, whereas if it is too deep or slanted, it must be filled with stones until reaching the designed height. Initially, side stone dumping vessels were used for this task, but later split hoppers were employed to accurately deposit stones precisely where the caissons were planned to be placed. Once the stone dumping is completed, rough leveling is done using a grading vessel, followed by fine leveling by divers underwater. They first lay down ropes to mark the design height and then manually move stones to level the foundation. Working underwater at depths of over 20 meters is extremely arduous and dangerous for divers. They must completely level nearly 1,000 square meters of seabed before the caissons can be placed. Usually, at dawn, the RSEA employees begin their operations. On October 5, 1975, in the faint light of dawn, it was the best moment for the first large caisson to be launched at Suao Port. Everyone was spirited, fully focused, and closely coordinated. The caisson was successfully placed in the most accurate position, proceeding smoothly. When the first caisson is successfully placed, it is essential to immediately proceed with stone dumping to connect the caisson with the rubble mound breakwater. Additionally, the interior of the caisson must be filled with sand and stones promptly to prevent the risk of displacement in case of large waves. On both sides of the rubble mound breakwater, although 10-ton deloss have already been added, due to the larger waves in the connecting section between the rubble mound breakwater and the caisson breakwater, 30-ton deloss must be added to withstand the impact of the waves. The terrain and sea conditions at Suao Port are extremely unique and extremely disadvantageous for construction. The typhoon season lasts from June to September, followed by the northeast monsoon season from October to March of the following year. There are fewer than 130 days available for operations at sea each year. However, an average of over 20 giant caissons need to be placed annually, making it an exceedingly challenging task. These colossal caissons, towering as tall as 8-story buildings, are slowly towed forward by 2 large tugboats, one in front and one behind. It takes approximately 1 hour to tow them about 3 kilometers to their designated placement position. When the caisson reaches the designated placement position, the first step is to release the cables at the 4 corners of the caisson, securing them to buoys located outside the corners. This roughly fixes the position of the caisson. Then, divers descend underwater to open the safety covers of the water gates. Afterward, from the top of the caisson, the water gates are turned to begin filling the caisson with water, causing it to gradually sink. At this point, the large tugboats that were initially pushing the caisson from behind reverse their direction to pull it instead. The 2 tugboats move forward and backward alternately to adjust the position of the caisson. Due to the influence of open ocean waves, the seabed at Suao Port often experiences turbulent undercurrents, making it extremely challenging to quickly secure the caisson in the correct position. Therefore, besides using tugboats to adjust the position, preset steel cables are also utilized from shore to pull the caisson as close as possible to the already placed caissons. As the caisson nears the seabed, rope pulleys are then used for the final fine-tuning adjustments. The atmosphere among the workers is extremely tense, and it is only when the caisson is finally positioned correctly that everyone can breathe a sigh of relief. To ensure the permanent stability of the caisson, 30-ton concrete protective base blocks are suspended on its outer side. Additionally, 10-ton truncated shake blocks are suspended outside the protective base blocks. The purpose of these blocks is to safeguard the caisson's foundation from erosion by ocean currents. For the sake of national development and the honor of their team, RSEA employees often work tirelessly day and night, regardless of weather conditions. They actively push forward with the progress of the project. Despite facing countless threats from storms and waves during their work, when they saw the fruits of their labor created with their own hands, standing strong amidst the fierce winds and waves, they appeared incredibly resilient. They felt deeply comforted and excited in their hearts. In the construction of Suao Port, over 1 million cubic meters of concrete were required. To meet this demand, 3 fully automated concrete mixing plants were specially established. These plants could produce 1,000 cubic meters of concrete per day, ensuring a continuous and sufficient supply for the construction site. The produced concrete by the RSEA underwent regular sampling inspections to ensure full compliance with port construction standards. To withstand the impact of ocean waves, over 10,000 concrete blocks of various types were produced. These included hollow triangular blocks weighing 10 tons, delos weighing 10 and 30 tons, tetrapods weighing 25 and 40 tons, as well as Tain blocks weighing 50 tons. A total of over 6,000 tetrapods were placed for the 2 wave breakers. The wave breakers constructed with these tetrapods has permeability, meaning that during wave impacts, most of the waves are absorbed by the gaps between the tetrapods. As a result, the waves within the breakwater are significantly reduced. As for the triple box-shaped caissons at the heads of the wave breakers, they are a special type of caisson within the breakwater system. Besides being labor-intensive and time-consuming to construct due to their narrowed cross-section, the greatest difficulty lies in their placement. As the caissons gradually sink and the seawater reaches shoulder level, one side will inevitably begin to fill with water first. If not properly controlled, this can lead to an imbalance in the caisson, posing a significant danger. All 4 triple box-shaped caissons have been fully placed and backfilled, with topping completed. On their seaward shoulders, 50-ton reinforced concrete Tain blocks are also suspended. Because the heads of the wave breakers face directly towards the harbor, in the event of typhoon surges, the Tain blocks not only serve as wave attenuators but also function to prevent wave reflection. Driving piles is the most formidable task in the construction of a trestle-type wharf, especially at the Suao Port where such wharfs were first constructed. Relying solely on permeable breakwaters to block waves, they are highly susceptible to wave impact. With the daring spirit of the workers, a total of 756 long piles were finally driven safely and accurately. The installation of foundation piles for the trestle-type wharf is completed. Next, pebbles need to be laid, with the layer sloped entirely. Then, 1-ton and 2-ton small tetrapods are suspended on top. After cutting off the pile heads to expose the steel bars, pile caps are fitted with pile hoops and caps. Concrete is poured, and between the caps, precast reinforced concrete beams are suspended. Subsequently, precast reinforced concrete slabs are placed on the beams. Once the wide wall at the front edge of the wharf is simultaneously constructed on-site, a layer of concrete pier deck can be added on the precast slabs. With this, the entire construction of the trestle-type wharf is considered complete. Based on economic principles, the medium-sized caissons are manufactured using a self-made reinforced concrete floating platform. Extra caution is required during operations to successfully carry out the caisson launching process and then tow the caisson to the shore, elevating it to the designed height of 13 meters. During the placement of medium-sized caissons, as the backfilling has not yet commenced, the caisson is entirely suspended in the sea. Therefore, controlling its placement is particularly challenging, with a maximum allowable deviation of only 30 centimeters within the permitted range. The backfilling of soil for the medium-sized wharf caissons is performed using dredging ships. For the small-sized caisson wharf, there are as many as 120 caissons. Due to the need for expedited construction, a portion of them are manufactured using the limited sandy areas within the bay. Since dredging cannot be used to solve the problem of caisson launching, a special set of launching equipment, jokingly referred to as water ducks by the construction site, has been designed. During the launching process, 2 water ducts are used, each equipped with 2 hydraulic jacks to lift the caisson off the ground completely. Then, at a synchronized speed, the caisson weighing 350 tons is transported towards the water. It is driven into the water for about 60 to 80 meters, with a depth of approximately 5 meters. At this point, the caisson begins to float. This method represents a new attempt and innovation in the country. The double-deck caisson wharf is a unique design where caissons are stacked in 2 layers. The most significant challenge in constructing such a wharf lies in placing the lower-level caissons. Therefore, a specially designed lifting vessel has been developed, consisting of 2 platform ships. When placing the lower-level caissons, the lifting hooks are attached to the 16 lifting rings on the top of the caisson. Then, the lifting vessel is positioned roughly, and the winch is slowly released, allowing the caisson to gradually sink. Once completely submerged, its position cannot be observed from above the water, necessitating corrections solely based on the markers on the lifting vessel. After the backfilling of the lower-level caissons is completed, the upper-level caissons can then be placed. The block-type wharf is another type of wharf in the Suao Port project. It is constructed by stacking layers of concrete blocks, each weighing over 30 tons. The tallest structure can have up to 5 layers. This type of project is most demanding for the divers, as they must enter the water for each block's lifting, assisting in adjusting its position. The Suao River diversion embankment is composed of large rocks and 10-ton hollow triangular blocks. Its purpose is to divert the sediment in the river to prevent the harbor basin from silting up. The Lanyang Tunnel is the main transportation passage connecting the harbor area to the outside. This tunnel spans a total length of 910 meters, making it the largest and longest tunnel on the roads in Taiwan at the time. Due to its particularly poor geological conditions, the excavation work was extremely challenging. Filling in reclaimed land is another feature of the Suao Port project, requiring a total of 82 hectares of new land. Located at Caisson on the edge of Suao Bay, it is the most economically viable site for obtaining fill material. The challenge lies in transportation, as the existing roads are too narrow and traffic is already congested. Adding 2,000 truckloads of fill material per day would inevitably lead to road blockages and impassable conditions. Therefore, the RSEA independently designed a long-distance, large-scale conveyor belt to directly transport the soil to the seaside. However, Caisson has steep slopes and crosses 2 major roads, requiring meticulous planning and effort to overcome these challenges. The soil from Caisson is transported to the seaside and then distributed to various wharfs by large dump trucks according to the progress of each wharf. A total of over 4 million cubic meters of soil is needed for this monumental task, truly resembling a feat of moving mountains and filling seas. Caisson is meticulously leveled inch by inch, while the new reclaimed land gradually extends into the sea. This project serves as another remarkable example of humanity's ability to reshape nature. President Chiang Ching-kuo visited the Suao Port construction site every year. His presence not only provided insight into the project's advancement but also served as a source of encouragement. The RSEA engineers expressed their admiration for him by demonstrating their dedication and diligence in their work. The Lanyang Tunnel was personally named by President Chiang, and Vice President She Dongmin was later invited to inscribe it. The entire team of RSEA employees felt greatly encouraged. The first phase of the Suao Port construction project was completed 6 months ahead of schedule without the assistance of foreign consultants, officially opening for navigation on December 30, 1978. The second phase of the project commenced in January 1979 and was completed by the end of June 1983. It included the construction of a 525-meter-long north and south breakwater, a 175-meter-long fishing port breakwater, a 1,705-meter-long deep and shallow water wharfs, 290,000 square meters of wharf fill, dredging of 1.2 million cubic meters in the harbor area, as well as a 10,000-ton repair dock and slipway, container dispatch yard, and 19 hectares of roads. The wharf construction was the main component of the second phase project. During the course of the project, the Terminal 13 stood out as particularly unique. The fishing port wharf adjacent to the machinery was constructed using a new type of block called 10D block, a first-time usage domestically designed to effectively absorb and discharge wave energy. In the construction of Terminal 6 and 7 of the container wharf, special considerations were made for the anticipated high load capacity. Hence, steel piles with a diameter of 1.5 meters were employed, marking the largest diameter used domestically. Over 520 such piles were driven during construction. Due to the thin seabed rock layers, after research, the construction method of pile connection was adopted. The longest pile reached a length of 48 meters, making it a pioneering technique in construction. The second phase of the wharf consisted of 8 structures, bringing the total to 17 when combined with the ones completed in the first phase. Both the design and construction were entirely managed by local personnel, demonstrating that our country's wharf engineering technology has reached international standards. The construction of a 10,000-ton ship repair dock, located next to the administrative building, utilized steel pipe piles and steel sheet piles for earthwork support. During the excavation of the dock, severe groundwater influx posed significant challenges to the project. Through research and countermeasures, enhanced groundwater pumping and the placement of underwater concrete were implemented, enabling the project to proceed smoothly. The entire dock measures 165 meters in length, 25 meters in width, and 11 meters in depth. Once completed, this ship repair dock will be capable of accommodating vessels of approximately 10,000 tons for maintenance purposes. The construction of the north and south outer breakwaters posed increasing challenges as the work progressed closer to the deep sea. A total of 28 large caissons were towed during the second phase of the project, all carried out at the turbulent bay mouth where strong underwater currents prevail. With the dedicated expertise and skills of the RSEA employees, the completed south breakwater stands like a maritime Great Wall, safeguarding the tranquility of the inner bay waters. The large caissons for the north breakwater were towed near the reefs at the bay entrance. Due to the isolated location in the sea and the abundance of submerged rocks, extra care was taken during measurement, positioning, and placement. The north breakwater stretches for 150 meters, facing the south breakwater from afar. Its function is the same as that of the south breakwater, serving as a navigational channel between the two breakwaters. Under the second phase of the project, the construction of docks and land reclamation covers over 20 hectares. Excavation of hard reef rocks using grabs amounted to a challenging 1.2 million cubic meters, reflecting the considerable difficulty involved. The construction of Suao Port, spanning across the first and second phases of the project, was completed over 9 years. This project, originating from the 10 major construction projects, opened up a new gateway for foreign trade in the northeastern region of Taiwan. At its peak, the annual cargo throughput reached 10 million tons, significantly impacting the overall economic development of the country. In the simultaneous construction of vast and complex port facilities requiring advanced technology, the capabilities of RSEA employees were once again affirmed. Today, Suao Port integrates both fishing and commercial functions, while also providing shared waterways for the important naval base project, the Longyuan Plain, in Beifangao. Looking ahead, there are expectations to expand the port's service functions in line with international trends and tourism demands, jointly creating a brighter future for Suao Port.